Sway in the morning, Shade 45. Good friend of mine is here.
Yes.
Heather B, this dude is legendary.
You already know I know.
Legendary.
I know.
Oh, man, I remember when he first. This is a guy who has been immersed in the culture nearly as long as King Tech and I have, probably just as long.
Right.
He's somebody who has been very instrumental in breaking a lot of artists that have gone on to become iconic and legendary, including Usher, Raymond, Outkast, Faith Evans, Notorious B.I.G., working with Sean Puffy Combs before there was even a Diddy or a P. Diddy. He was very instrumental in the convergence of corporate America with music culture. I remember back in the day, he was working with clients such as Nike, right? Microsoft, Converse. He was doing things, Rich Nice, as you recall, that was so far ahead of the curve that we didn't even understand how he's getting to that money the way he was back then. We didn't even know. It was perplexing to us. And he was doing it at a time when corporate America was really trying to emerge into this culture of hip-hop, and normally they were doing it the wrong way,
Facts.
the inauthentic way. This man, along with his company, Cornerstone, and then eventually he started Fader Magazine, helped bridge those worlds together and help it be a type of relationship where not only the corporation can benefit from it, but also the culture and the artist can benefit from it as well. Right now, he's here today to celebrate the Fader Magazine 20th anniversary fall fashion 2019 issue featuring none other than Young Thug on the cover. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only Mr. Rob Stone.
Rob Stone.
Rob and I go back so deep. You know, the picture of Biggie and I on the wall.
Right.
It was really me, Biggie, like Chewy Gomez, Alex Mejia.
Damn.
Your brother.
My brother, T. Calloway.
T. Cal.
T. Calloway. I was with T
Cal
yesterday.
always make his way around something.
And T. Calloway's like, yo, tell Rob I said I remember everything.
That's so
T.
funny.
Cal wants you to know that.
All right.
And then Rob Stone was on it. We cropped you out, Rob, but it's a picture on my wall, but he was supposed to be on that picture too. I'm just joking. I saved his life. My team saved his life. He almost drowned in a pool at a party we were at one time, and we had to jump in head first to make sure he didn't drown.
In a pool or ocean?
It was a pool.
Oh.
A lot of liquor.
Lot of
You want to speak on that, Rob?
It was the Hamptons, so Sway was going to the Hamptons in the early 90s.
Damn.
And like 4 or 5 guys kind of jumped me and threw me in a pool at a party.
Yeah.
But
Big Paul.
Yeah. Big Paul. If you haven't met Big Paul was big for a reason.
Yeah, Big Paul.
Security, Big Paul?
You met
man.
Big Paul, came here once. Samoan.
Yeah.
Tongan. Sorry, Tongan.
Yeah.
Lives in Australia. He was just a part of the Wake Up Show crew.
Right.
And so he was there with us. King
Thank God
Tech
he was there.
It was a good thing he was there, man.
Yeah.
We ended up sad. But Rob Stone is here, man. Congratulations on it all. When you think back, and I tell you these times, we're in 2019 right now where everything is being sold, you know, especially in this digital age of streaming. But people don't necessarily realize how it got to this point. What would you consider to be some of those milestone moments or deals that help us progress and build these relationships with corporate America?
Well, I mean, first off, thanks for having me up here, Sway.
Absolutely,
it's a
man.
pleasure. Love what you guys do. It goes back to what you were doing in San Francisco. Like, hip-hop back in the day, and what I think a lot of people don't realize today, because it is pop culture, it's mainstream. Nobody wanted hip-hop wasn't invited anywhere except KMEL at the Sway and Tech Show. Like the Wake Up Show invited us in. Most of the time we would sneak in Biggie and Craig Mack into stations. That was 93, 94.
Yeah.
So until that point, hip-hop wasn't pop culture. People didn't want it to be successful except for us, us pushing the culture. So to see it come where it is now, where like the second a record goes up on SoundCloud, that stations are playing it, and everybody's embracing it, and corporate America wants to be a part of it, is really interesting. A milestone for me. We did something with KRS-One years ago.
Yeah.
That was for a spirits brand, and there was a press conference, and they asked them. One of the reporters there said, "Hey, can you please tell us about the corporatization of hip hop?" And, KRS-One, I wish I could do a KRS-One voice. Can anyone do a KRS?
Yo, Rich Nice got an ill one.
Would you rather I tell you now or tell you after I battle you?
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty good. Rich Nice.
That's pretty
Rich
good.
Nice, ladies and gentlemen.
So keep that in mind with this next line. So the journalist said, "Can you tell me about the corporatization of, hip hop?" And he looked at them and said, in that voice, "Let's not talk about the corporatization of hip hop America, of hip hop. Let's talk about the hip hopitization of corporate America." He's like, "We haven't changed. We're not changing. You guys are coming to us." I just thought that was really powerful.
Yeah. That just kind of set the tone, because at that time it was a slippery slope when it came to the culture. When you kind of stepped outside of the culture and you work with mainstream brands, at that instantly we thought the culture would be corrupt and you would be considered a sellout. And at that time that was the golden rule.
That's
right.
You couldn't sell out. And so that transition was kind of a rocky road. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. But then you had guys, and whether this is in order or not, but you had Naughty by Nature putting out clothing. Yeah. And there was a lack of understanding of what hip hop fashion was.
Yeah.
So, you had that. You had Russell Simmons putting out, Fat Farm. You had Puff coming with Sean John. So
yeah, it made sense. Some of it made sense. Like with Run DMC with the Adidas deal back then, that made sense because my Adidas ended up becoming an anthem for everybody in the hood. Yeah. But then I go back and I think about what if Kango really would have grabbed LL early? Mm-hmm. What if Tommy Hilfiger and Jabot Jeans would have grabbed Pooh Bah early when he said Jabot's hanging baggy, Hilfiger at the top? We wasn't wearing that until they said that. If Coogee would have grabbed Biggie. So I think we walked that fine line, to Sway's point, because when Hammer came dancing around with soda and chicken, everybody dissed him. But then you hear this music now and all these different commercials. So what is that? What's the difference?
Well, I think the Run DMC is an incredible example. That was my first concert ever in Madison Square Garden.
Ooh.
And I remember
Hold your sneaker up.
Yeah. I know it was Puff's first concert too, because in a book that we published, he said he remembers sitting in the seat he was in and seeing Run do what he did and said, "I got to feel that. I need to understand. I want to do that." And he was 16 years old, 17 years old. So it came from a very natural place. That wasn't Adidas going to Run and DMC saying, "Hey, we want you to rock Adidas." They were rocking Adidas. And I don't think it was till years later that Adidas finally came to him.
But then we had the time when St. Ives went after King T to come and do the commercials. And honestly, the commercials were dope, but I was cringing because it was St. Ives. Yeah. And it kind of opened the door for a lot of other people to do these St. Ives commercials. But it was just like, that was a combination that I didn't think worked too well. Yeah.
Do you think, and this is my last point on this, do you think when Jay did the deal with Reebok and he came out with
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z did the deal with Reebok and he came out with the S. line and it just sold out immediately, do you think hip-hop was at that time when it sort of made it okay? Because to me, that's when I started seeing bigger deals and bigger things happen. People asking for now a piece of the pie rather than just, "Hi, I'll just get on your cover." People were asking for more. Do you think that deal sort of changed things?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. And if you think about Jay's a visionary. Jay's not playing for tomorrow. He's playing for the future. And just like that sneaker deal probably gave Jay a taste of what it could be to sell that many sneakers, he also realized, I need to have my own company, because that's when he started Rock Sports. That's when he started managing artists and started realizing what the potential is. Also realized Jay was the first to say, "I'm going to own my own masters. I'll be president of Def Jam, but you're going to give me my masters back." That's the conversation today. Artists should own their own records.
Yeah. Rob Stone is here. We celebrating the Fader magazine number 118. Is 118 issues?
That's 118 issues.
Damn, man.
20 years.
20th anniversary fall fashion 2019 issue featuring Young Thug. Is this going to be printed? We got a printed version of the magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a museum. This is not a museum. They actually still print magazines.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to us. We think that tangible, being able to read something, everything's digital now.
Yeah.
And you swipe it and it's gone. this stays forever. We get, people calling us looking for copies of it. You can buy them in the Fader shop on fader.com. So it's something that lasts forever. And it's like, I remember being a kid putting posters on my wall.
Right.
It's like having something tangible is key to it.
And to pass it down too, you know what I mean? Like legacy is always a huge conversation in hip hop, and there's some articles I've written in the past, but then there's a change of the guards at the publication, and that URL gets broken, and you can't pass it along. But this, if you keep it right, is forever.
Yeah, it also helps. A quick story: we wanted to have Serena Williams on the cover. It was her moment a couple of years ago. Talked to her agent. Our agent's like, there's no way. She's got the Olympics, and then she goes right into the U.S. Open. And I said, I know she's a fan of the magazine. Jill, just ask her. She called me back. She's like, I can't believe it. She's like, she'll give you 2 days. It was her dream to be on the cover of the Fader.
Wow.
If I wanted her on the front page of the Fader.com, there's no way she would have done it.
She wouldn't have done it.
No, but the print, there's something really special. From Travis Scott to Kanye to Drake, wanting their first cover to be on a magazine is really important.
What do we lose when we lose print? And not just in magazines, but even when we're talking about streaming, a lot of times, you don't have the experience of opening a CD and looking at the liner notes all, and having that in your hand and going through things the same way we once did. What do you feel we lose?
I mean, for me, it's you lose the immersion of it. You lose going deep into something and shutting out the rest of the world. When I'm reading a magazine, I can read 3-4 articles without looking at my phone. If I'm reading something on my phone, my warnings are going off. Business is happening. I'm getting texts from about, so a magazine allows you to kind of go inside and kind of take your mind off of everything else.
Okay, Rob Stone is here with Fader Magazine, man.
Yeah.
This is probably could be the first of a series of conversations you and I can have. I'm trying to condense it into this one little segment. To be honest with you, man. But with Fader, let me ask you. I remember back in the day, Source Magazine, Double XL Magazine,
Vibe
Magazine have all had some type of conflict or funk with artists where they done ran up in those offices and demanded somebody's head. Stormed in offices, banged on desk. Threaten guys, the whole nine. Did you ever have that happen to you, Rob?
I didn't personally have it happen to me. But look, I mean, we had a rule from the beginning of Fader. We were going to cover things we liked, and if we didn't like it, we wouldn't fuck with it. So, those magazines would give, bad reviews of music. If it was bad, we didn't cover it. The worst we've gotten are artists name checking us and saying fuck the Fader or whatever because we didn't give them something or we didn't cover them.
Okay.
So we never went out of our way to hurt them.
That's good.
Because we still respect them, and there's enough good music out there. So.
Right.
What was one of your personal milestone moments that you've had with Fader? One of those issues that really stands out and you hold dear to your heart?
I mean, I think the Kanye cover was big, but Eminem, we did. Man, the beginning days having Jonathan Mannion on a handshake, just say yes, I'm in, I'll shoot. Shooting Run Zach premiere together for a cover called Three Kings, and then seeing Gangstar go out on the road with Rage Against the Machine, which was way ahead of its time. That wouldn't have happened if we didn't put them together in a room for a cover shoot.
Wow, man, Rob Stone is here. We got this. He brought a treat for us, Heather B. This is the Ready to Die demo on cassette.
That's crazy.
On cassette.
Wow.
And, man, we're going to play something. Did he bring the cassette machine in? We have it over here. We're going to actually play music off a cassette, Rob. I hope you really preserved the tape.
Honestly, that cassette was played for me early 94 by Puff at the Bad Boy offices on 19th Street. And when I was leaving the meeting with him, he handed it to me.
I'm handing it to Wonder. Okay.
I'm watching. I got my eyes on it.
Okay.
But I think it's one of one. I don't think anyone else has that. Maybe Puff has one, but it has the original Bad Boy phone number on it.
Wow.
And it's got a couple of cuts that didn't make the album, but we'd have to search through it.
Can I take a photo of that?
Yeah, you should.
No,
you can't.
Come on, Rob.
You can't. Okay,
I'll
and then
tag you.
let's see. We're gonna do this live on air as Wonder tries because a lot of people don't even understand what a cassette tape is.
They might not even know.
And by the way, my amazing child, Rob was so kind. He met her at a Wu-Tang Clan premiere that we attended. and I said, Rob, this is my daughter, and gave him a look like, give her a job.
I remember that night.
You were there.
Yeah.
And Rob immediately said, man, take my number. Yeah. And then she followed up. I always say, look, once I make the introduction, you got to hit the home run.
She interned up at Cornerstone Fader. She was incredible. And the quick story, we brought her into a big meeting with a new client. And there were about 12 people on my staff in the meeting. By the end of the meeting, the 5 people from the other company had turned their seats towards her and were listening to, like, waiting on every word she was saying about the culture and about what was going on. She was incredible.
Oh, yeah, she's an amazing child. She's been through a lot of grooming process. She sat in studios when we had Biggie. Well, no, she wasn't born yet, but I'm excited. But she sat in studios with Outkast, with Kanye, with different folks, at Luda as a child, and was going up to people who would rap and freestyle on our show when she was like 5 or 6 years old and said, you're really good. If you didn't curse, you'd be a lot better. I was like, yo, what are you doing here?
She said that to me after a meeting.
Did she really? Yeah. Okay. She did say that? I'm sure she did.
Me. Yep.
Did she really?
Yeah.
We sat in she would always try to set up lunches with me and Rob. I said, ask Rob how many times have he gone to lunch with me in the past 20 years. We have never gone to lunch, right?
We still haven't gone to lunch.
We still haven't gone to lunch, but we get together because of her anyway. I digress. Mike on the line from San Francisco. What up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Yo, what up? Yo, I got those tapes. The Biggie demo tape. I remember back in '94, I was at Clark. I was at Morris Brown, and it was my boy sent us the tape. We had the Biggie demo tape, like you said. It was like around 5 or 6 songs that didn't make the album. I know he had a cut with Craig Mack. There was a couple cuts that they redid that they did in the Biggie duets. I remember that tape. My boy still got that tape right now. He in Atlanta right now. He got that tape.
You know how valuable that tape is? How it look, Wonder? Let's see. We're going to play a cassette tape on, I don't know if this has ever been done. This is satellite radio. Yeah, like we're going to play a cassette tape on satellite radio.
Wow. Right. That's like old meets new.
Wow. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know if this has ever been done.
Past and present.
This might become a thing we do every morning.
We can do this, Rob. Man,
he got to hook it up. It's like.
Yeah, he's hooking it up now.
Okay.
Did you ever think that Fader would come this far?
I don't look at things like that. Like, okay. I kind of. Look, we hire great people. We have a great staff. We try to stay current. John, my partner, and I get out of the way and let them do it. Like, it's not the 90s anymore. So, yeah, for us, it's like as long as we keep covering, we have the 1975 on the cover. I didn't know much about the 1975 except we had them at the Fader Fort before anybody else, their first performance in the States. They're on the cover, the back cover, Young Thug's on the front cover. So as long as we keep innovating and staying ahead of the curve and taking chances, we'll be fine.
What do you think of the state of hip hop journalism right now? It's great in the sense that it's so much access, so many resources, so many different platforms. But the flip side of that is it's so much access, so many resources, so many different platforms. So how do you regulate the content? Maybe that's a bad word, but some of the content isn't authentic, if you will.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know where you're taking that, but yeah. I think, look, there are so many talented and smart artists, and I think hip hop has to be given credit for so much of the conversation that has taken place from where we were 25 years ago to today. And some can argue things have gotten better, things have gotten worse, but hip hop has been a constant that has allowed us to have a conversation and to understand more about culture and about people.
Hey, when you was hanging out with Big back then, man, because Big used to come to the Bay, we would hang out the whole nine. It was some fun times. But were you ever in any dangerous moments back then?
Yeah, the only danger, the dangerous moment, and I don't think it was even, obviously things got really dangerous, right? But the year before, and it was a journalist in the Bay had written something about Big's comment about E40, and I don't remember the specifics, but it was perceived as a diss. Big didn't diss E40, but he was then told not to come to the Bay to do the Summer Jam in 94 or 95 at the Shoreline Amphitheater. And
we have that very show. I introduced Big that day.
Wow.
On stage, and I was there when that took place. We have that on CD though.
Okay.
Do we even have a CD player, Rob? What the hell?
Not even in the computers.
So while he's fixing the cassette player, because I'm going to play
This shit
some,
like a VCR.
Man,
like, what are we
ain't
doing?
even- Rob, what are you doing, man?
Bring
You're
it
supposed to
back.
digitize this stuff. Let's get into the mystery sack real quick, too. We got Rob Stone here celebrating the Fader magazine, issue number 118, 20th
Sway?
anniversary. Yes.
Wonder?
Not looking
All
good.
right.
Oh, he
And
said he wanted you. I'm sorry.
You need me?
Keep talking.
Go ahead and reach in.
Dig deep, dig deep.
Put your hands into Sway's sack.
That sounds gross.
It's Sway's Mystery Sack on Shade 45.
All right, Rob. It's a mystery sack since we got you here. Heather B, explain to him how the rules work.
Okay, here's how it works, Rob. You're going to go in, random questions from the citizens of Sway in the morning. You're going to pick 3, one at a time, read it out loud, and you have to answer honestly.
Yes. But these all have a theme.
Oh boy. You
All
ready?
right, Rob Stone.
It's a beautiful sack.
It is a
Sway.
beautiful
Thank
swag.
you, Rob. That's what she said.
A sparkly sack.
Jesus, Sway. This is it's one at a time.
Yeah, one at a time.
That tickles.
Read it out loud. Oh, my gosh, Sway. Tickles.
See Rob's face.
Who are the top 3 GOAT female rappers?
Your opinion. Go.
Kim, Little Kim,
Okay.
Bad Boy for Life.
Okay.
Early in her career, but I would go Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh,
I think
wow,
is really
go.
doing it right now.
Okay.
Really impressed with her. Latifah.
Latifah, Lil Kim, and Meg Thee Stallion.
Wow.
Top 3 of all time.
Yeah, on the spot, yes.
On the spot. Rob Stone.
might
Okay.
rethink it at
Okay,
some
no,
point,
that's cool. It's cool.
Number 2.
People are cursing at me. Right
Oh,
now.
no, they're lighting you up right now.
You know, you might be got some security on the way home.
I mean, who are the top 3 GOAT male rappers?
Oh shit!
How'd you do that
Wow.
back to
Who
back?
that? How that
Dig
happened?
deep in his
I
sack.
mean,
Rob don't want to touch it.
Yeah, I know. Right? Yo.
And all right, even though I worked and took Big on the road, Rakim is my number 1.
Okay.
Big is my number 2.
All right.
Jay is my number 3.
Okay. All right. Rakim,
Biggie.
and Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
nothing controversial there to maybe.
No. Folks don't argue
Order.
with you. Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's fine.
Last
I'm trying to
one.
see how you think, Rob. They ain't gonna be the last one. I'm gonna get another one out of them. Okay.
Who are your top 3 GOAT producers? Puff, Timbaland, Pharrell.
Puff, Timberland, Pharrell. Okay, I'm gonna call Premier. Tell him you said
Oh.
that. Oh, okay.
Swizz Beatz is outside.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Swiss right there.
Dr.
Right
Dre
there.
listens.
Yeah.
Bring Swiss in. Bring Swiss
You
in.
know Riz is around all the time.
Swizz Beatz is here, man. Hold
Dr.
up.
Set
Dre
me up
listens.
on that.
Yeah, no, I didn't set you
That's
up.
not
You-
fair. Primo is like the one before the X. You don't have to say one X. It's just one. It's just Primo.
Hold on, man.
Primo.
Don't start copping the plea because Swizz Beatz walking up in here, who Kanye said is the greatest producer of all time.
Premier,
Premier. Who did he say again?
He said Pharrell
Puff,
Puff and Tim.
and
and
Tim.
Tim.
Timberland.
Where's Swiss at? Is Swiss walking?
No, he's in another studio.
Oh,
he's
okay.
another-
All right, give him another one.
All
Give him
right.
another one while we're here. We got
Dr.
the
Dre
DV
on the hotline right now too.
Swiss is here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Swizz Beatz just walked in,
Hi.
ladies.
And he looking regal as all hell.
Yeah, Rich, let him grab a seat, Rich. Let him grab a seat, man. Yo.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Hey. What's up, y'all?
It's always a party.
We
It's Sway
got
in
the
morning.
legendary Swizz Beatz is here. Rob, go get in that other seat real quick. We were just having this conversation.
You know,
What's up, bro?
creator,
Yes.
Godfather of Harlem.
Godfather of Harlem, man.
Good morning.
up, babe?
Hey, how you doing?
good?
Good.
Yeah.
What's up,
What's
Sway?
going on, King? All good?
Swiss, we gonna get into that. First of all, I love you.
Say love you back, man.
Man, congratulations on everything.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the Godfather of Harlem.
Fader bag jumping
Okay.
off.
We're gonna talk about the Smart
This is mine. I
Collection.
keep this?
Yeah, well, you know, he's celebrating, Rob is celebrating a 20-year anniversary of Fader magazine.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I just thought it'd be cool because I know Fader's
like Fader
done
magazine
some
a lot.
coverage on Swiss, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
I never had a
course.
cover, though.
Talk about it. That's why you're here.
Swizz had an online cover. Unfortunately, we missed the print cover.
Okay, yes, he's right.
And we were talking, Rob just pulled out, we do this thing, who are your favorite producers of all
Thanks,
From the
time?
Sway.
mystery sack.
And he said
Swizz Beatz.
My God.
And then Sway tried to talk me out of it. He's like, you got.
Oh, he lining you up.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Lining you up for that one.
Yeah, good one, Rob.
Well, who was the person for real?
Who did you say?
You can't. Top
It's
three
your-
is
it's your-
tough.
I
So
mean,
I
it's
said
something-
Pharrell, Puff,
Timbo.
and Tim.
And Timberland.
That was your three?
And then I left out Primo and Swizz.
That's in
And
the
then
order?
yeah.
And Dre
not-
and Kanye, and he left out a lot of folks.
Oh, who are your
They are,
top
they
three?
are my friends. So I
They
don't
are your
know.
friends. Yeah, you Just Blaze.
You know, I fry
Khaled.
all of those people you mentioned, but they're my friends. Now Puff got catalog, so you know that'd
Yeah.
be tough too. Pharrell got catalog.
Timberland.
Preem got
Tim
catalog.
got catalog. But I whipped Tim already. You know, I whipped his ass already.
You
so
did that
that's-
Summer
already.
Jam stage. Yeah.
That's right.
Shout out to Tim. And we just did the summit.
With the
Yeah.
Revolt Summit,
Yeah, the
right?
Revolt Summit. It was a great talk.
Y'all had a good conversation.
Yeah,
What did
yeah.
y'all touch on?
Just just educational things, like not just music things, but like how to have longevity and sustain in a culture where everything is so fast paced. And so he gave his experiences, I gave my experiences. I think the crowd was very pleased. I just wish we could have went longer.
What was your experiences? That's something I wanted to ask you, because you always find a new avenue to venture off in, and you do it head first. You know, like when you talk about this Smart Collection app that you got.
Yeah.
You know, that's something different for you. Yo.
Yeah, even Godfather of Harlem, executive music producer, that's new territory as well. But I feel the key to longevity is not believing who they say you are, but actually knowing who you are and where you are at particular times in your life. And then knowing where you are, take those moments and EQ those moments of how you want them to be. Not even, sometimes, like what I gave an example, like sometimes you got to make yourself cold on purpose. You either can make yourself cold or get cold from the people. That's a different type of cold to come back from. But if you make yourself cold and phase out, and then people are looking for you like, man, like what happened? Like he just was here, and rather than, nah, that's whack, I don't want to hear that. Or, right? Make yourself cold and make the people appreciate you when you come back with something even better than what you did. But that's a lot of discipline. Like who the hell want to make themselves cold?
Well, yeah, but now, you know, I was going to say, you got to have a lot of faith in your talent to do that one.
Yeah, but I feel like being successful, you got to be hot and cold multiple times to really be a certified artist that we would say is top anything, right? Because how you know if someone's top when they can't get up from when they fall? Like a lot of people enjoy it in the clouds, but let me see you come back off the floor and get back up to the clouds a few times.
When do you feel like the last time you was on the floor? Give me an example of what you see as in yourself as being on the floor.
Well, just stepping away from the music for about 8 years and just opening up different lanes and diversifying my portfolio and different things that I like to work with and getting my education. But it's not really a low time, but it was a reset. I can say it was a reset. But I had records that didn't do what they were supposed to do. At one time, it was 8 records on the radio at the same time. So when I got 2 records at the radio, it felt like I was cold, right? And people was like, "Damn, Swizz fell off. He got only 3 hit records out right now."
Only three.
Yeah, only 3 hit records out. People get spoiled, but you have to control your narrative, because people don't really care like that. They don't really care like we want them to care.
Yeah.
They care when it's highlights. But the rest of that time, it's real life, right? And so you got to balance the highlights with real life, and then prepare yourself. Somebody trying to get in here.
Nah, they doing work with building.
Talk about highs and lows. Sirius just bought the floor downstairs, so
they're building us a new studio down there.
Oh,
so
yes. Congratulations.
But the only time they can do it is while we're on air, apparently. Your philosophy on highs and lows don't even just pertain to you. We watch how you extend it to the people who are around you in your immediate circle, which I always commend you about, where you say people don't care. The ones that love you care.
Facts.
And Jermaine Dupri came up here, and he gave you props on the fact of how you care about somebody you work with, and this is what who was going through a low, and this is what he said.
You can't let go of people regardless of how ignorant or whatever else it is that's going on. Like I learned that from I don't know the insides and outs from what DMX, but I know DMX been in jail a lot of times since I've been paying attention, and every time he come home, Swizz is right there with him, and they in the studio, and it's like Swizz not paying no attention to whatever got him locked up. He's just paying attention to what got him to the name that we know, right? And that's the same thing I feel like I have to do with all my artists.
That's dope.
Wow.
That's real facts.
Yeah.
I mean, me and X slept on floors together. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to watch him go through pain and watch him go through different things. And we actually slept on the floors together, ran through Yonkers, and I really know who he is. He's really a good person. He really has a big heart. And, I know if I needed something and he was in my position, he would do the same thing for me and my family, for sure. And I feel like he hasn't even finished his story.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even, in the middle of what he has to say, what he have to offer, true lyricism, true real artist. Like, when we talking rap, hip-hop, DMX is the only artist, in my eyes, that's never changed. You've never seen him with a bunch of jewelry. You've never seen him in fancy cars. He's still the same person. Like, he like nicer things. Like, he told me he was on a jet the other day. I said, okay. I said,
that's unusual for DMX?
Yeah.
Really? You would imagine that he's been on a ton of jets.
But not recently.
Yeah.
Maybe when he was doing the movies and things like that. But, he has built himself back up to the level of where he want to be, because he want to. Right? Like, we want DMX when we want DMX, but DMX gotta want it more than we want him. And that's where I see he's at now. And it's a great moment. He's on our first single from Godfather of Harlem.
Just in case?
Yeah, just in case. Me, the dog, Rick Ross, we just shot the video. He looks amazing and it sounds amazing. And the game don't stop. It goes on and on.
It goes on. Swizz Beatz is here. Who you bring with you, bro?
Man, I brought Mr. Chris Mancato. Let him know a couple of things that you've done, because he needs no introduction.
DB.
But he popped up on me today as we doing promo.
Go ahead, man. Let him break it down.
Chris, they got a mic right there.
There you go, man. Chris, we got you a mic, baby.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here.
Absolutely.
I'm the co-creator of Narcos. I did the Escobar portion.
Zone.
And after that, decided to tackle another subject, which was Bumpy Johnson in Harlem, New York. The show is Godfather of Harlem, and it's about the collision of crime and civil rights in the early 60s. And that is primarily shown through Bumpy's relationship with Malcolm X.
Yes.
So we have Forrest Whitaker playing Bumpy Johnson, and Nigel Thatch plays Malcolm X to a T. And as we were developing this thing, we had a very ambitious musical game plan. Forrest and I started talking about who would be the right person to executive music produce an album for the show. And Forrest said, I'm thinking Swizz. And he said most of these cats have a lot of things to do. They have a lot of different lanes. And he said, I know Swizz, and I feel like I can really trust him despite all of the things he has going on to max it out on this. And man, that's what happened.
Wow, Forrest Whitaker. Did you know Forrest personally prior to this, or
not like on an everyday phone call basis?
Yeah.
Highly respectable, see each other in public, but never really sat down and created a master plan together. So this is like our first time really working together, and for him to call me and bring this to the table, I think it's a blessing.
What was your approach to this? I mean, like, this first single got Just in Case got Rick Ross and DMX on it. Like, what was your approach to?
I just wanted the sonics to match the visuals, right? Like, I didn't go into this saying, I'm gonna make #1 hits. I went into this saying I'm gonna make records that feel #1 in the show. So when you're watching it, you actually feel something. And we're gonna eventually get to those hits and different things like that. But I think it's important to establish the show's sound in the beginning, because once you set the tone, that's where it goes. And you see how many shows come with these big names and these big topics. She looks beautiful.
I know, that's crazy. That is all right now.
Yeah. She's beautiful.
His wife is on the screen right now. We got videos running in the background. Yeah, caught your attention, right?
She's dropping. I got a premiere today, and she got a premiere today. Which is crazy.
What is she premiering?
Her new single.
Oh, the new single's premiering today?
Yeah.
We got that?
Yeah, she's doing the visual installation premiere today. I think the song actually comes tomorrow with the video. But shout out to the queen. But I just wanted to take timeless music and then mix it with today. So you'll hear the song with DMX, myself and Ross, but you'll hear the sonics in it. It matched. Like he's gonna show you you can show him the sequence title. Okay. And just mixing, artists like Buddy, Ferg, and Wale on the track. Hallelujah. Wow.
Buddy.
We just had Buddy perform on our show last week.
Yeah.
Ferg too. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll get that record today. And if you don't have, just in case, you'll get that also. Okay. But we just and I got to work with people that I wouldn't normally work with, like Jadena, Emily Sander from the UK.
Oh, she's dope.
Yeah,
she's
killing
dope.
it.
Yeah, she's been here as well. Yeah,
and I just wanted to just create something that was just as unique with Chris and I put into the show.
I even think that approach, like that story thread of the relationship between, at that time, the civil rights movement and criminal world and how they converged together. People wouldn't even know about that relationship with Bumpy and Malcolm X, right? What was special about it that you wanted to focus on?
Well, what's interesting is Bumpy came out of Alcatraz in '63, came back to Harlem, and found that his territory had been taken by the Italian mobsters who were located in East Harlem, and he was determined to get the territory back. Yeah. His friendship with Malcolm X, he had encouraged Malcolm to get the hell out of Harlem in 1947. He said, "You're going to end up dead or in jail." Malcolm went up to Boston, got arrested there, went to jail, and found the nation. And so now Malcolm is back in Harlem. He's the minister of Mosque Number 7, and Bumpy and he pick up their relationship where it left off. But things are different in the country, and Bumpy has to adjust to a world where, where he's got to fight for what was his. And Malcolm always said that when the gangster becomes politicized, the white man will tremble. And so the show is focused on this relationship between these two men. And when Malcolm was left the nation in '64, Bumpy provided protection for him because he knew that he knew Malcolm was a target for not only white supremacists but also people in the nation who didn't like him. So the show focuses on that and how crime and civil rights intersect as people try to move up the ladder in this country. Swizz understood that from jump, and the music game plan in the show was we didn't want to just get hip-hop songs that were popular and glom them onto the show. We wanted to create contemporary music that was inspired by the show. So when I finish the 10 episodes, I hand them over to Swizz, and he starts to pull in artists, showing them episodes, showing them spots in each episode where music needs to be created, say over an action sequence or this or that. And
we had a party every night too.
It was a party every night.
I've never seen anything like it, and it's incredible. I'm still recovering.
Did you see the new house yet?
I did.
Yes,
I did.
That house is amazing. I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, I mean it is.
Swizz, can I get an invite, bro? I'm just gonna put it. I see it's in the magazines, dog. I see the house is amazing, man.
Let's go.
Okay, so can I bring the crew?
Let's go.
Man, we should do a broadcast, a Sway in the Morning broadcast from the house.
Trust me, you want to do that. You want to do that.
This is the second time I heard this today, though.
Oh!
And I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even want to kill your idea, I promise.
Damn.
I ain't even gonna lie.
Damn. You should have came to us first, man. Stop coming to us second, Swizz.
I came first. You wasn't here. I was here last week.
Oh.
Sway.
Where was I?
Who knows? You all over the world. Somewhere you were last week.
You were swaying on them planes.
Thank you,
You
man.
were in Atlanta. You were in Atlanta.
I was in Atlanta interviewing Raphael Sadiq.
I like Raphael.
For Pandora. I think, which was an amazing conversation.
But it's still good though. You still good.
Okay, we still come.
Yeah, you still good.
Okay, cool, man. We gonna go. Y'all gonna come with me? Yeah. All right. First of all, let me thank Rob Stone. Thank you for coming through, brother. Congratulations, 20th anniversary, Fader Magazine issue
Fader
number
Zone?
118. Right, it's the fall fashion
20th anniversary.
20th anniversary 2019 issue with 1975 on one cover. On one side, and you have Young Thug on the other side. You're my brother. Thank you for giving my daughter an opportunity.
She's the best, man.
Okay, I told him don't go easy on my daughter, go hard on her, and she ended up going hard on you. So that's how that works out. Right? Thank you. And to your team, who you brought with you, Rob?
We got Marissa here from the video department at Fader. We got Samantha, who's my assistant. Seven Smalls, who's stand up Seven.
Now Seven got some
Seven
mystery.
Wavy. He got his waves popping though. Seasick out here. Seasick.
Jesus. Tell him who your dad is, man. Dan Small. Dan was here last week, I feel like. Your dad was here last week, man. You taller, though. All right, we're going to come back with Swizz Beatz. You want to talk with them? 888-742-3345.